Welcome to Make Good Things Happen. My name is Angela Dalton and I provide support to the maker community of Australia with a variety of special services for their small businesses. When the time comes for you to start creating your newsletter, the best place to start is by setting yourself up with a template that is branded accordingly with your logo, your business colors, your brand colors, and take a little bit of time to consider how it looks. Take some inspiration from newsletters that you like reading yourself. Give consideration to the overall feel of the brand that you have and how you can support and convey that in an email sense. You want to choose web-friendly fonts. Not all fonts will be visible in email marketing format because they are often web-friendly fonts only. So you might be limited in terms of the fonts that you can choose. If you've got funky fonts that you definitely want to include in your email, you're probably going to have to create a graphic version of the word or the phrase that you're saying and then popping that in, as opposed to using the newsletter format itself or the email format to type out that word. So give consideration to that web-friendly sort of font thing. And by those, I'm talking about things like Helvetica and Arial and Tahoma. You also want to make sure that the design of your template overall is accessible. And by that, we mean by potentially visually impaired people. That means making sure the contrast is high enough for people who are visually impaired to be able to read the text as clearly as possible. Often when we get a bit carried away with our brands and when we think we're designing very avant-garde, we may make things a little bit difficult for those with visual impairments to be able to see. So give consideration to that. Make sure your logo is on there somewhere. Consider where it's going to be, how it's going to look. Is it a pared down version of your logo, or do you have a special newsletter version that you're going to use? Traditionally, email templates need to fit within 600 pixels wide, but this is changing as we all look at mobile responsive design and because we've all got different screens that we're all using all the time. But definitely start with that as a guideline, as a 600 pixels wide. Also give consideration to the way that the layout will look on a mobile phone version of that email. Keep it simple, keep it legible. Don't go overboard with the design of those templates. There are some basic things that every email or every template for email marketing purposes will have. There is, as you can see on the slide here, you'll have a header. Which is just obviously the top of the email. That usually contains a logo and an introduction. Then you'll have the body. That's the bulk or the content of the email itself. That is where you put your text and your images and all the nice things that you want people to read up about. A call to action or CTA. So that is where you are requesting the reader to do something and you're providing a button or a link for them to perform that particular action. Often it will be buy now or join here or read more, those sorts of things. Then, of course, down the bottom of the email, the footer. Traditionally, this will include legal information that will be mandated, often through the software, on your behalf. Very helpful when that happens. It'll be things like your address and, of course, the mandatory unsubscribe button. But also, you might want to consider including things like links to your social media channels. And of course, one of the most important things that every email should have is a subject line. You want to maybe start thinking about the format of your subject lines ongoing.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on the new content we post, all for the makers of Australia. For more information, head to makegoodthingshappen.com.au. Find out more about our memberships that cater to the small business maker community.